everyone, and welcome to Fuchsia TV. Today's guest joins us all the way from Australia at the Australian Olympics Museum and one of the oldest cricket clubs in the world, Melbourne Cricket Club Museum, established 1838. Please help us welcome Greg Hunter.
It wasn't really an official museum at that stage, but that was sort of when the collecting, I guess, started. Before that, various things still did come in. From time to time, people associated with the club would leave or try and give them memorabilia and things like that, but nothing was really catalogued or treated as museums sort of related to stuff. It just sort of accrued over time, and it wasn't really until sort of the 1980s really that started to actually operate more like a museum collection, getting museum staff on board and trying to catalogue everything and trying to store everything properly and so on and so forth. Operations all come under the Melbourne Cricket Club, so the club funds the preservation and the staff to look after all of this stuff.
But also the story of cricket around the world, because because you have such a rich old history, and cricket has become an international sport. So it's not just for you guys.
That's right. So yeah, for me, I've always sort of grown up with cricket. It does take some explaining to people overseas. Why do you play a sport that goes for 5 days? How do you keep it going?
That will never fly in America. We just don't have the patience to sit around for 5 days to see whether something ends or not. 90 minutes. We do drag out American football because of the ads and start, but 2.5, 3 hours, forget it. 5 days, not going to happen. But it's fascinating. It's so interesting.
It's actually been a bit of, in recent years particularly, cricket has really changed a bit, and they're sort of embracing that shorter format as well. Like, without getting too much into the history of cricket, basically, when cricket originally started in terms of international cricket, there was no time limit, so you would just play until it finished. So some matches went for more than 5 days. Some matches had to be stopped because the other team had to take the boat back to their country but they hadn't finished the match, so they just had to stop and declare it a draw. It became a 5-day thing, and then sort of in the 1980s, a new version of cricket came, which became a 1-day thing, and it was like a breakaway competition, breaking away from the traditional cricket, and it caused a lot of controversy at the time. There was a lot of splits between players and TV networks and cricket boards and things like that. There was a lot of dispute and a lot of unpleasantness there for a little while. And then everybody sort of got their act together and rejoined, and the 1-day format of cricket became part of the wider cricket as well. And then even more recently, they've now have a version of cricket called 2020, which is really your 2 to 3 hour sort of version of cricket as well. So it's about fireworks, it's about excitement, it's about just trying to really emphasize that part of cricket and trying to attract perhaps new fans, or to attract the sporting follower who is more used to that shorter format, and you can come to that as a casual observer more easily than you can to something that necessarily goes for that longer period. So that is attracting a lot of new fans, I guess, to the sport, but also posing challenges to the traditional form in terms of how does it still stay relevant as the longer sport if the shorter version is becoming so popular and things like that. So it has a reputation as a gentleman's sport and very traditional in its roots, but things are really changing in recent times, which is quite interesting.
Have you ever played cricket yourself?
Cricket and Australian football were the big ones for me. Cricket was the only one I played at a club outside of school, and I did that for a couple of years, and that was great. I was a bowler, which I guess if you know baseball makes it easier, sort of like the pitcher, the one who throws the ball or bowls the ball, as we call it in cricket. So I did a lot of that. I wasn't so good with the batting side of things. Struggled with that, but I really enjoyed it. And And really just, me and my friends used to play sort of every lunchtime at school. We would play varieties of sports. Sometimes we would play soccer, sometimes we would play football, sometimes cricket, depending on the season or the time of year. I still love having a casual kick of a football or hit of cricket or something like that if you can get it organised.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and following Geisha and Geisha TV on your preferred social media platform. You will find the list down below. Hope to see you soon.